Hey guys, it's your Naked Vault Dweller, and in this video we're going to talk about some of the things that's going on in the public test server that we got released on November 10th, 2022. And with the release of this video, I'm also going to release a poll that's going to be on the community tab on my YouTube channel. I encourage you to go there. It's just basically going to ask whether or not you own a legacy and the platform you're on, or no, you don't own a legacy. In most cases, 100 votes on anything is a good sample of numbers. Most of my polls get about 2,000, 2,500, 3,000 votes on them, so that should be a good overall number to use on whether or not people are using legacies and who are using legacies, where they're using legacies. And I wouldn't normally have released a video like this, but my son is sick and I'm home, and I thought, well, if I can take a couple minutes to release a video, kind of put it out there for people who do not know what's going on, and maybe get some feedback on that. So here we go. Yesterday, November 10th, 2022, Bethesda brought back up the public test servers with an additional code that removed certain effects on guns aimed at the illegal use of mods primarily. Energy weapons with the explosive attribute, also known as legacy weapons, have been affected with this change as well. And I'm sure that anybody who owns a legacy and is watching this video has probably watched a number of other videos as well as visited the Bethesda Discord server. Whether or not Bethesda's taking these energy weapons that have the explosive attribute out of the game completely. And I totally get the passion behind the push for legacies not to be removed from the game, but I also understand Bethesda's reasoning why they would want to remove it from the game, especially moving forward. Very soon, Amazon's going to be releasing a whole series on Fallout, and where do you think those people are going to go when they start doing searches on, locations and wanting to get more involved in the Fallout series? They're going to land in Fallout 76. So we're going to see a huge influx in the game when it comes to players whenever this TV series is released. And that can be backed up by the enormous amount of people that went back to Lord of the Rings Online, a game that was released back in 2007 whenever Amazon released the Lord of the Rings series a few months back. So I can see where Bethesda wants to make the game a little bit more appealing for new players to come in and be successful in Fallout 76. Okay, so I just want to point out a couple things that are on the playtest server right now that you may not be aware of. First off, energy weapons with the explosive attribute are not the only weapons that are being affected by this new code that they're introducing. Many of the normal legendary weapons out there that are ballistic weapons have lost their explosive effect. Many of the melee weapons that are out there have lost some of their legendary effects as well. Just to give you an example, tone death weapons have lost all of their legendary effects. And as most of you guys already know, tone death came from Evictionos, which is one of the more recent events that Bethesda has released to us. Primarily what I'm getting at is the stuff that's on the public test server right now is just that. It's just test data. Many of the weapons that are out there have been affected by this change. Those that are given directly from Bethesda events, and even ones that we get off of dead corpses from, killing the Scorchbeast Queen or Earl. I think Bethesda is going to really hone in on what they're really trying to get rid of, which is what we want to get rid of, the hacked items that are inside the game today. Early on into the game, there was a developer room, which pretty much every game that is a first-person shooter has a developer room in it where developers can go in there and make changes and do stuff. It became accessible to players within Fallout 76 and it went undetected for quite some time. Those players that were able to get into the room and make changes or build weapons that they weren't normally able to achieve inside the game was able to produce items that don't logically go together within the game, such as an explosive spear. Bethesda should jump at the chance to get rid of any of these hacked items that are in the game that just do not belong. I fully support their choice in trying to make an effort to do that. Now, with that being said, when it comes back to energy weapons that have the explosive attribute, those are legal weapons that should be in the game. But I say that with this caveat. Bethesda patched out new explosive legendary effects falling on energy weapons back in January of 2019. So from October 23rd, 2018 to January 29th, 2019, 98 days, that was the only window someone was able to legitimately get a legacy or an explosive attribute on an energy weapon. So how does that account for literally thousands and potentially even millions of weapons that are energy weapons that have the explosive attribute attached to them? And I think the answer to that can really go without being said, but there are some players that have legitimate legacy weapons from that time period that are being punished here if Bethesda is deciding to remove legendary components from these weapons. So you might be asking yourself, well, what weapons do I have? I actually have several legacy weapons that I use from time to time, and I'm not really going to exaggerate. I enjoy using the legacy weapons that I have. A couple of them were actually given to me. I've got one on a loaner, but the point I'm trying to make here is I have no true knowledge of the origin of these weapons that were given to me or loaned to me. I'm appreciative that I've had them in my inventory and I've had a lot of fun playing with them, but still, I don't know where they originated from. The likeliness that I received a weapon that originated back in that little window whenever they were actual legal weapons is pretty low. And I definitely don't want to offend anybody that has given me legacy weapons or has loaned me legacy weapons, because you very well might have begged, borrowed, and stealed to get that. But the origin is all I'm really going for there. So you take the possibility of duplicated items out of the scenario, and what do you have left? The legacy weapons that should be there. And I'd be curious to know what the magic number is on those. And I'm pretty sure that Bethesda wouldn't know either, because each one of these items, when they fall in your inventory, all the identifiers change on it, and each time you use it, all the identifiers change on it based upon repair, based upon how much it has in ammunition on it. It is virtually impossible to keep track once a weapon reaches someone's inventory, which is why hacked weapons have lived this long inside of Fallout 76. But if Bethesda has found a way to look at the legendary components of these weapons and start arbitrarily removing those components, like for instance, if you have a knife and if it has the explosive attribute, remove the explosive attribute, else leave the knife alone. And that's kind of an archaic and rudimentary way of explaining what Bethesda's code's probably doing, but it's probably looking at it in just that way. And right now on the public test server, the code is doing exactly what they want it to do, which is go out and find stuff that doesn't belong in the game. However, there's a lot of collateral damage, and the legacy weapons are being affected by that. Now, is it an end-all be-all legacy killer? Nobody has confirmed that at all. I've pretty much spent the last day in the Fallout 76 Discord server looking at their playtest server and the comments that are coming from hundreds or even thousands of users not wanting this change to take effect in the regular servers. And even there, the mods that are responding to those people don't have a complete answer of what's going on. And just bear in mind, guys, the mods that are operating these channels are just regular people like you and I, so go easy on them because they're just doing their job. I'm going to put a link down in the description of this video if you'd like to go and voice your opinion there in the Bethesda Discord server and their PTS forums. There's some roles that you have to accept before you're able to get in there to be able to post. It doesn't take any time to do that. It's going to link you over there to that, so click that link if you'd like to go and see what all's going on in there. I'm also going to put a link to the poll that I was talking about a little earlier in regards to whether or not you have a legacy weapon. Love for you guys to get your friends to go there. I'd love for you to go there. I'd really like to get a solid number of players that use legacy weapons and the platforms that they play on, because right now they're aiming at PC players being the majority, and I just can't believe that, because PC players are actually the minority in the overall players in Fallout 76. But I'd love to hear from all platforms. If you do have a moment, jump over there, vote on that poll, and we'll hopefully be able to have some really good numbers to work with. Anyway, with wrapping up the video, just want to say, take a deep breath, take a step back. These changes may not be permanent. They're on the playtest server, so as of right now, everything is up in the air. If you have a legacy weapon that you like and would like to hold on to, then jump over to Bethesda's Discord and let them know. But don't be ugly, because they very well might ban you or delete your comment, so just bear that in mind. Be constructive. Thank you for supporting this channel and supporting this community. You guys make everything worthwhile. I've never been part of a finer community than what the Fallout 76 community has brought to us. I look forward to seeing you guys soon in Appalachia. Love you, bye.
Listen, Naked, all I'm saying is you think you have it all figured out when in reality, don't have a clue.
Now, Bethy, I was born, but I wasn't born yesterday. Now, will you please just go watch the door?
Okay, you do you, Boomer.
She acts like my mom. I know what I'm doing. Hey, Zed.